All right, all right. All right. What's up, everybody? So, if you couldn't tell, not a Big Smoke here, by the way. If you couldn't tell, really enjoying doing these podcasts. I'm out here again, and god damn it, these cars, man. Might close that shit up, to be honest with you, but really excited to do another podcast tonight. Had a lot of fun doing the one that I did on Sunday night. Just real lot of fun. For some reason, it's just really interesting talking about movies, talking to you guys, letting you guys know, what happened with me during the week, and just talking randomly and just doing my thing. So I said tonight, fuck it, don't have anything to do. I don't have to wake up early tomorrow at all. Got to be up at like 11:30, 12 o'clock, some shit like that. So I just figured, might as well just do another one, right? I mean, fuck it. Had a lot of fun. The last two that I did, I had a lot of fun. The first one I was a little bit all over the place and a little bit just trying to get my bearings together and shit like that. But it's just fun, man. Really been having a lot of fun doing these. So I'm planning to do 1 to 2 every week, to be honest with you. In the wintertime, I'll be probably doing maybe even 2 to 3 a week. Who really knows? It's a good time for me. I'm having a lot of fun doing them. To be honest with you, this is the most fun videos I've ever done with these podcasts. Especially because I can kind of just sit back and relax, just do my own thing. Let's break down our herb here before I get to doing that. So line up for the herb tonight. We are smoking on some Sour Spider, I believe it's called. I think it's Spider OG crossed with Sour Diesel. So it's like a hybrid. Hopefully it's more indica dominant. I don't really know. Didn't do all the research on it. So we're gonna do another Dutch with some oil in it. I'm gonna go for a fat one. It looks like. Considering I just put out some pretty decent sized nugs here. So let's get to breaking this thing down, and then we'll break down the podcast. What we're gonna be doing tonight. It's gonna be a pretty similar format this time, as same as last time, really. We're gonna do a movie review, and we're gonna do a beer review as well. And to be honest with you, this one might be a little bit less organized than the last one, just because I have been drinking some beers here before. I already had 2 or 3 beers, like 3 beers, I think, and just started drinking some of my favorite liquor, pretty much on the planet. Hennessy BS right there. It's good stuff. Real good stuff. Real big in my area as well, culture-wise, especially with the urban culture, hip-hop culture. Real huge in Newark and New Jersey, New York, Brooklyn, everywhere. Philly, it's real big on the East Coast. I think Hennessy is big pretty much everywhere. But one thing you might notice that's a little bit different right now, I do have a little bit of music going here. You know what, I'm probably going to just turn this off for right now. And maybe we'll turn it back on when we're smoking our blunt, and not really talking, or when we're not talking about some topics, and we're kind of just in between, which I feel like may happen. Then we'll talk about some music, may not, whatever. So we're rolling up here right now, and like I said, the Sour Spider, which I believe is a cross of Spider OG and Sour Diesel. We're also going to be putting some oil on this blunt. Get pretty good and stoned here before we review our beer, and probably be smoking while we're talking about the movie as well. But so like I said before, had a lot of fun doing the podcast. Just going to keep doing them whenever I can, but definitely once a week. Definitely once a week, and whenever I feel like doing them on top of that. So. I uploaded one on Sunday. It is currently, while I'm filming this, what time is it? Tuesday. It is 10:30 on the dot. So, we'll probably go for an hour at least. Maybe even a little bit longer, because I really could stay up, and usually Tuesday night I do drink a decent amount because I don't have to be up very early on Wednesday. My regular job that I have year-round, I do not have tomorrow. I'm off every Tuesday and Saturday for that job. And I do have to do some like landscaping and stuff for my other job tomorrow. Pretty extensive day, but we don't have to get started until way later. I don't have to be up until probably about 11:30, even maybe a little bit later than that. So we're relaxing tonight. And again, it may be a little bit more of a lax kind of stream. Or not stream, I keep saying that, stream. I'm not streaming this live. I don't know why I keep saying that. Podcast, a more relaxed podcast here, just because I am a little bit faded already. I already smoked a blunt earlier. Just ate some bomb food too. Just ate some subs. Had half a pork roll, egg and cheese sub, and then a turkey and provolone half sub as well. So that was good stuff. Anyone who doesn't know what pork roll is, it's basically like bacon. But on the East Coast, it's in New Jersey at least, it's definitely much more popular. It's really just in New Jersey and some places in Pennsylvania. It's extremely popular. It's like bacon, but better. Less greasy and more salty and a little bit more flavorful, in my opinion. So let's get to rolling our Dutch up here. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. It's only the third day of the week, but these are the roughest. Usually, Monday and Tuesday is usually the roughest days of the week for most people, coming off of the weekend. For me, I always have to work on Sunday, so, oh wow, I got my garbage over here again. I'm just going to say, fuck it, got it right here. We'll clean it up later. But yeah, usually, most people are kind of still in the, have the Monday blues, sometimes go into Tuesday, but hopefully everybody's doing good. And, having a good beginning of the week here. Sorry, I'm really already pretty stoned here. May not be in the condition to do the best condition to do this podcast right now, but we're gonna knock it out. I usually can be pretty coherent with this shit, even when I'm kind of faded. At least I hope I can be. So yeah. So that being said, my day today was a little bit stressful, not really. Working at my normal job, and then, oh shit, I forgot to put the oil on here like a dumbass. Fill my gun up, and without putting any oil on it. Not good. So yeah, a little stressful, but nothing really too crazy. And this shit's starting to butter up now, so it's going to be even harder to get on here. Nothing too crazy. Worked from, 10:45, 10:30 till about 5 o'clock at my normal job, and then I went and cut down about half of a tree for one of my other jobs. This tree that had fallen down in one of the storms that have passed more recently. Got rid of half of it. I'll get rid of the other half of it tomorrow. Using the chainsaw is always pretty fun. Got to be really careful with it. Actually, I have a friend who used to do tree removal, and almost one of his coworkers almost actually sliced his arm off. Yeah, for real. Really crazy. So yeah, definitely got to be careful with them, but I've been using them for a decent amount of time, so I'm usually pretty careful with them. But yeah, so that was my day today, and then kind of got home. A lot of stuff going on at my house, so I kind of couldn't smoke right away. I had to wait until about, I would say, like 8 o'clock, 8:30 almost, to smoke. And then got pretty fucking stoned, drank a couple beers, ate, took a shower, and now we're here. So it is what it is, right? Now we're rolling a pretty nice blunt here. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna follow the same format as last time. We're gonna review a movie. We're gonna review a beer. The beer I have for tonight, actually, it's funny. I have a review of this beer actually filmed that I haven't uploaded yet because there was a lot of weird stuff going on with the audio, and I'm kind of mad about it too because I got in a mood where I was like, I'm definitely gonna film a beer review. It was right after the Founders, the Double Trouble beer review. The last official beer review that I filmed on this channel. And I said, you know what? It's a little bit of a cooler day out. I'm going to go out into the woods and review this beer. I'm going to make a fire in the middle of the woods and review it, fireside. And I filmed it, worked out good, watched the video on my phone, and the audio and everything sounded fine, a little bit loud at some parts from some of the animals and stuff around in the background, but watching it seemed fine. The only problem was I started the recording a little bit too early, and I was literally like lighting my blunt and stuff in the video, and I waited like a minute to start talking. I didn't realize how long I actually waited until I watched it back when I ended up getting home from the hike that I was filming this beer review on, and I was like, damn, I gotta put it in the computer and edit this out, because there's like a minute of just no talking. It's just me standing there. And I was like, I'll put it in the computer and start to edit it. And when I put it in the computer to start editing it, the audio got all messed up, I guess from transferring it or whatever. And it really kind of pissed me off, because I don't want to put a video out there from my phone with just a minute of straight just nothing, me not talking, nothing, just looking around like an idiot. And at the same time, I don't want to put an edited video out where the audio is just shit. It was just really bad audio. I know the audio for these podcasts isn't really the best either, because I am using my computer to film this with a webcam. It's just the only thing I have that will support this amount of time, being recorded at this moment. Plan on getting a better camera in the very near future, probably right around October, like right before Halloween. But yeah, so I just didn't want to upload that, because I just it was either one thing was going to be wrong or the other. There's going to be an awkward pause in the beginning of the video for like 1 minute, where the video is going to look okay, no pause, but there's going to be this terrible audio problem. And I was just like, fuck it, I will refilm the review on a podcast, almost said stream again. And then if I could fix up the audio, I'll just release the other beer review. I mean, why not? Review the same beer twice. I'm not going to say the same shit about it, probably. I just rolled this perfect cone. Whew. So yeah, for right now, I'm not going to be reviewing Rolling Rock, by the way, which is what I have here. This is just kind of like a beer that I like to have in between IPAs and stuff like that, because it's very light and just easy to drink, and kind of tastes like water, really. So yeah, what else did I want to talk about here? Let's see. So overview of the podcast, we've talked about that. I do want to talk a little bit about Halloween, which is one thing I was talking about in the last podcast as well. Halloween's around the corner. It's about 2.5 months away. A little bit longer than that. Like about 2.5 months, a little bit longer. I get very excited for Halloween every year. I think I mentioned this in the last podcast. It's kind of funny too, because when I was younger, I would get excited for Halloween and stuff, but not like I do now. Like, I literally find myself thinking about it. It's August 7th, and I'm thinking about it like every day. Like, Halloween's coming up. It's just crazy, because when I was younger, I would get excited for it, but not like over 2 months in advance. I'm just so hyped for it, really. Probably don't even have anything cool planned either, which is the crazy thing. Like, usually every Halloween, I'll just have some people over, usually until like a little bit later at night, and then I'll go inside and I'll watch some of my favorite movies. Usually I also take off of work for Halloween. It's kind of like an actual holiday for me, which is crazy. It's like just as important as Christmas. Maybe even more. It's definitely my favorite holiday, I would say. But it's weird, because like I said in the podcast, the previous podcast, we decorate for Halloween pretty hardcore. I go out, I buy new decorations every year. I try to add to it. I even have the whole Lee Max Halloween collection inside, which is like these little Halloween decorations that you can get that light up and move around and stuff. They make them for Christmas too. They're called Lee Max. They're like little houses and stuff. Like I got like a movie theater, a graveyard or a cemetery. I got like a potion shop, like all that. I have tons. I've probably spent a good amount of money on them. I've gotten some of them for gifts as well, though. And my sister has all the Christmas ones. It's something we're kind of into. And I actually was very upset at myself because I didn't set them up last year. I just did not have enough time. So they take a good few hours to get everything out of the stupid styrofoam that they put them in, and get everything set up, and so the cat can't get to them and bite everything. But yeah, so I'm just so hyped for Halloween coming up. It's just for some reason every year, I don't know what it is. It's just like the smell in the air, the feeling of like seeing Halloween decorations around town. The corn is growing in the farm fields. I live on a road with a lot of farms. Like we're talking almost like I don't even fucking know, hundreds if not thousands of square acres worth of preserved farmland that is on my road and all around me in my entire town. So it's like Halloween is really pretty cool. It's a kind of a big deal for people out here because we live in kind of Halloween-esque town, Yeah, and it's weird. One thing I've written down here to talk about is Halloween feelings, right? Halloween feels. There's certain holidays. This only happens to me with Christmas and with Halloween. It's like when the time is coming up, right? There's a certain smell in the air. You get like this certain feeling that's like almost like deja vu that you only get, every year when this time of year comes around. It's like it's so hard for me it's impossible for me to explain it really and put it into words. But it's like this feeling you get of mix of excitement, nostalgia, almost mixed with like just like the feeling like excitement, like you can't wait for it to happen, but almost at the same time that you don't want it to happen because you like to enjoy the period leading up to it. I always think of that with Christmas and Halloween. You're just hyped, for it to come up. But it's this specific feeling that you get, and I always get it when I'm kind of driving home from work around Halloween time when I pass and see everybody with the Halloween decorations. It's so hard for me to explain. Let me know if anybody else gets this, though. It's like this feeling that you only get one time a year. It's a specific feeling, I assume it's different for everybody, of excitement, nostalgia, and almost like you don't want the time to pass by fast. You want to kind of savor it. Every year I feel like that. It's kind of weird, actually. A little bit strange, but it's something I look forward to every year, and this is probably the earliest that I've ever gotten that kind of feeling. I'm like, it's literally the beginning of August. First week in August is over, and I literally already kind of am getting that feeling. It's kind of funny, actually. Just so excited for the holiday. So pumped. So pumped up. It almost makes me kind of we don't have many trick-or-treaters actually on my road. Like I'll get candy and stuff to give out, but I don't think we've gotten anybody in the past like 3 or 4 years. Like nobody, not even one person, because the houses are very far apart, and there's no sidewalk. You have to literally walk on a 45-mile-per-hour road to get from house to house. So most people around here, even me, when I was younger, I would go trick-or-treating around here, but that was when there was a lot of little kids. Now it's kind of like everyone's grown up and stuff. And there's not many little kids around here because everybody kind of grew up at the same time. But even when we were younger, we would go out to different towns, or we'd go to the real rich like developments with like hundreds of houses in them and just scope them out and get so much fucking candy. I remember one time on Halloween eating so much Halloween candy that I puked coming home. I just ate so much fucking candy. I can't even imagine. Probably like thousands of grams of sugar when I was younger. Just, you get hyped. And I remember me and my sister and my friends, we would all go trick-or-treating together, and we would always organize all of our candy, like by brand, or like by chocolate, by lollipop, by, gummy, all sorts of stuff like that. We get home from trick-or-treating around like 10:30 or 11, and we put on like movies, like scary movies and stuff that were appropriate for us when we were way younger. I think the last time I went trick or treating was probably in like 7th grade. Like with all my friends. Once we were in like probably 8th grade actually. But once I was in middle school, my parents would let me and my friends go off by ourselves, and that's when you'd be stealing the whole entire bucket of candy and silly stringing and causing all kinds of problems. Never was too into mischief night, but a lot of people around here are really into it. I've done it a couple times, but it's more just an opportunity to get in trouble, really, because the police around here really do hone in on that quite a lot. But yeah, so Halloween, just so excited for it. I want to try and do on this channel 31 Days of Halloween. I kind of want to start filming them almost like now and just have them like lined up and talk about some different kind of movies. Just try and cover some different stuff while also throwing in some of my favorites that are also really popular. It's just a huge undertaking there. 31 videos, and they could be short, but I have a hard time making short videos, honestly, because I keep blabbing on and going off topic all the time. So I'm going to try and do that, but I'm going to try and limit them to like 7 minutes per video, like just a quick review. I was almost thinking that I could do like 31 Days of Halloween and 31 Days of Beer combined, like different Halloween kind of beers and stuff like that. But I'm not super into the pumpkin beers, to be honest with you. As much as I love Halloween, I'm not a huge fan of like pumpkin and stuff like that, which is kind of funny. Although there was one that I really enjoyed, that my friend got me a 6-pack of them for my birthday last year. It was called the Great Pumpkin Ale by Elysian Brewing. Those were great. They were really good, but I can't find them anywhere. After he got them for me, I was looking for them, and I couldn't find them anywhere. I was like, dude, where did you get these? And he told me it was a local store, but they ran out of them, and I guess they're a limited release only for that time of the season, I'm going to look for them this year, though, and I'm definitely going to try to review a few different kind of Halloween-style beers, seasonal beers, and stuff like that, when they do come out. They're not out yet, it's only August. But speaking of that, when I was at the store today buying some beer to review for tonight, I actually saw a beer from Founders that I can't wait to review. That is one of my favorites. I've tried it the last 2 years that it's come out. It's a Pilsner, or no, not a Pilsner. What is it? Single hop ale called Mosaic Promise. Very, very, very good. Cannot wait to review that. They had it in 6-packs of cans for $8.99 plus tax, which I thought was a pretty good deal. But I'm waiting for that 15-pack to come out, because Founders does that with a lot of their beers. They'll do the 15-pack for like $16 plus tax. Really, really good deal. They even do that for the Centennial IPA, which is like over 7%. So it's great. They're in cans, but fuck it, I always do prefer the bottles, but the only thing is when it gets real hot and stuff, they get skunked if you bring them have them in your car for too long, and the heat is getting to them, or the light's getting to them, and always got to get bags and stuff like that for the beer at that point to try and help that light and that heat not hit them just while you're driving home. Coronas are the worst for that shit, and Heinekens, they skunk so easily. Can't stand that shit. Alright, so we got our blunt lit. Excuse me, guys. So we did talk about day, overview of the podcast, rolled our blunt, I got a little reminder there, and we talked about Halloween. So next we're going to get into our movie review for tonight. Whew. I really do think this might be a longer podcast, because I do kind of want to sit here and I got no plans, so it's like I might as well just sit here and talk. I might get tired of talking eventually. But I'm trying to see how long we've been going for. My vision is very bad. I can't see it on the computer there, but I'm guessing we've been going for probably like almost 20 minutes, or maybe more. So our movie review for tonight. So I was watching this movie last night. I threw it on right as I was going to lay down for bed at around 4:30 in the morning. I knew I wasn't going to make it much past the 20-minute mark because I was very, very fucking tired. And I was hitting my pen while I was in bed kind of watching it. But it's a movie I've seen probably like 10, 15 times. And it's another movie that I've actually had my friends check out a couple times. And my one friend loved it. And here we go. So we're going to be reviewing Madman from, what is it, from 1981, yeah. On the cover here. Oh shit, we've been going for 25 minutes already. Madman. Back cover. I forget what company released this. Vinegar Syndrome. I only have a couple of their releases, but I do really like the artwork on this one, I'm not going to lie. I think they have the reversible cover art on here too. Yeah, they do have the reversible cover art. I'm not exactly sure if it's the original artwork or not. I actually found out about this movie, I want to say, about 2 years ago. And ended up just buying it blindly because I watched the trailer and it looked fucking awesome. So I bought it and just checked it out. And I've watched this movie like 10 times, this Blu-ray. This is actually a Blu-ray and DVD. It has both in here. So, Madman, they thought they were alone. I'll read the description on the back. Years ago, Madman Mars violently murdered his family only to escape into the woods before his execution could be completed. Legend has it that anyone who calls his name above a whisper can summon him back to continue his bloody rampage. But teenage Richie, away at camp, doesn't believe the old legend and calls his name. As night falls, strange things start to happen at the camp as soon as Madman Mars is back, axe in hand, to finish the killing spree he started decades ago. Now there's just a bunch of other stuff about the release. But yeah, so that's the story. It's your basic kind of camp counselors at a camp, not really doing what they're supposed to be doing, kind of just like having sex and drinking and stuff like that, instead of looking after the kids. And one of the kids ends up going missing in the beginning of the movie. And they don't even realize it until way, way later, way after he leaves the group. Movie starts out, the beginning of the movie I love. It's probably my favorite in the whole movie. The first like 10-15 minutes is just absolutely great. Really, really cool. Like a lot of references to kind of Friday the 13th and stuff too in the beginning of the movie. Very subtly, but you can definitely tell they're there. Where the main guy, like the guy who I guess owns the camp, or is like the top, not counselor, like I don't know what you would call that, like the head of the camp, I guess. He's much older than all the counselors. They don't look like college kids. They look like they're mid to late 20s, some of them, but and some of them do look like they're younger, but. But basically, he's like telling this story, and I guess it's the last night of camp, or the second to last night of camp, and they're going on a hike, and he's telling them the story of Madman Mars, about how he used to get drunk as hell at the tavern and come back, beat up his family and stuff, and then eventually ends up killing them. And the people from the bar end up finding out what's going on, and they hang him what they think is for dead. And apparently it's not, apparently he's back. And basically, kid doesn't believe the story, starts calling out his name like a dumbass, then ends up finding the old house, and terror ensues from there once they realize that the kid is missing back at camp after some bullshitting. They start to go out to look for him about pretty much one by one. And it's your typical thing you would expect. End up getting killed off one by Madman Mars until somebody could eventually try and find the solution to this problem, right? So basically, the cast is pretty good. There's some goofy characters in it. The acting's not 100%, but this is an independent movie. It's very low budget. I think it won an award Oh my god, the print is so small. Nominated for Best Low Budget Horror Film, Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy Horror. So it was nominated, didn't win. But yeah, I mean, who directed this actually? Let's see. I don't even know. The credits are very. It just says "Rest in Peace, Madman Makers and Good Friends." Director Joe Leone, actor TP Tony. You know, it's very limited. There's no producer for this movie. There's no costume designer. There's no director of photography. It's just, this was made very low budget. But I will say this: the movie was made well. It looks like an old '80s horror movie. It really does. You could tell it's a little bit low budget, but at the same time, a lot of these '80s movies were, most of them, really. I mean, even the original Friday the 13th. So it's not really something that you're going to go into expecting to see, with any 80s horror movie, big, effects and explosions and amazing acting and great cinematography. Although the cinematography was pretty good in this film, to be honest with you. The use of color in this movie really worked out to their advantage, as well as the set that they got to use to film this movie. I guess they must have filmed it at a real camp. It had to have been. There's no way for the budget of this movie that they could have set something like this up. They were definitely either renting out an area or somebody knew somebody who knew the owner. It had to have been one of those things like that. Because the set was great. It was like a really, serious camp, like a Boy Scout camp or something like that. I don't exactly know what kind of camp this was, because when they went out on the hike, there was only like 12 kids, and it's this huge camp, so it's kind of funny to see that, just this giant camp with all these buildings and like a massive like mess hall and stuff like that, and there's like 12 kids at the camp. That was kind of funny to me. But and there's guys and girls at the camp, so I'm guessing that it must have been some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of charity thing or church thing. I mean, like a mission camp. I don't know what the hell those things are called. Something like that. Who knows? But yeah, so as the movie continues, some actors make some dumb decisions. There's some pretty hilarious dialogue that's shared. There's one character in this cult named TP. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Toilet paper? I always think of that whenever they say TP, TP. I'm like, why are they good? This guy is such a nerd, And he's kind of an annoying character, but you grow to like him more and more throughout the movie. He's kind of obsessing over this girl who also works there, who I guess they're, together or whatever, or they used to be, and he's trying to reignite it. And basically just trying to have sex with her the whole movie, and at the same time kind of keep the guys in line who are sort of almost borderline making fun of him. So he's an unlikable character at the beginning of the movie, but then as you can see how much he cares about some of the one kid that goes missing, the lengths that he goes to try and get him back, you kind of start to care about him more, and you're like, okay, this guy's not that bad, he's just kind of a dork. But the other characters in the movie, not really super likable at all. The girl that he's going after, who ends up actually being the final girl, is not super likable either. Her friend, I find to be more likable than her, who's kind of like more of a bitch, and is kind of funny and cracks some jokes throughout the time, telling her like, what are you doing with this guy, like, whatever's whatever, And then there's a couple other people. There's one guy that's kind of weird who starts singing a song like randomly in the movie. He's like, I'm going crazy. He's like waving around a knife around his friends, and the one girl's like, are you okay? It's pretty funny. That part made me and my friend, when we were watching it, he was watching it for the first time, made him laugh out loud, actually. I was kind of surprised that he thought he found any humor in the movie. But even with these old movies, man, you'll get the new audiences, because this is one of the friend that watched this, he doesn't really watch old school horror movies at all. He doesn't even really watch movies at all, to be honest, but he really enjoyed it, and he even mentioned it to me a couple of times after we watched it, so I was like, damn, must have remembered it. But I happen to think it was really great. The kills in the movie are pretty good. There's some funny kills, some interesting shit going on. I was going to say my favorite character is actually the main guy. I don't remember his name. I don't remember really any of the characters' names except for Mars and TP was such a stupid name, and Richie, the kid who actually ends up going missing. But the guy who like runs the camp is really a funny character. He's like finds their beer and he's like he calls them out on it, like because he goes to leave to play a poker game and leaves these guys in charge of what's going on. So he's kind of like, oh, just save me a couple beers, like for when I get back. Save me one. You're not supposed to have it, but you're good. It's like the last night. And he was my favorite character. I thought it was pretty funny. And then he does make an appearance towards the end of the movie. But kills were good. Cinematography is pretty good. The shots, the colors. I thought it was a pretty great movie, to be honest. Visually pleasing. The ending still is pretty good. Not the best, but it's good. I'm not going to give it away, obviously. I don't want to spoil any of my reviews, really. If I ever did, I would definitely say in the description too, or in the title of the the movie review. If I ever get to doing these solo reviews, like I was saying before, like in one of my videos earlier, or a couple of them that I wanted to do, like kind of beer and movie kind of thing. It's kind of what we're doing now, to be honest. Like for what we've been doing on the last two podcasts, or no, last podcast, right? I don't think I reviewed a beer on the test run. I don't think I did. So yeah, I'm gonna give it. I mean, I could give it a 10 out of 10 right now, but I will give it a 9 out of 10 just because the acting in some parts is very mediocre, and there's also a couple of flaws within the story, just very minor things, but just things that you're like, what? That doesn't really make a super lot of sense. Like the way that events kind of unfold, and like the way that they're kind of like their logic concerning the situation and what's going on is kind of like, normally in these kind of horror movies, you kind of just got to suspend all logic. Like, okay, whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. But there's a couple of times in this where it's like nobody would do something like that, like nobody would do this. And there's also a couple parts where they're kind of just walking through the woods, like yelling, like looking around for people that go on for too long. That's probably my main beef with the movie is there's a few parts that do drag on a little bit. There's like one scene where the one girl is like walking around looking for the couple people that are missing. The main final girl's best friend, and she's literally just walking around in the woods yelling TP, whoever else she's looking for, TP. And it just goes on for like 5 minutes. It's kind of like, okay, like you can do it for 2 minutes, but for 5, it's kind of like you're increasing runtime here with bullshit. You know what I mean? But other than that, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. A very enjoyable and entertaining movie, just fun, kind of popcorn movie to just throw on and just get a couple laughs out of it, make fun of it a little bit, but also have a good time and be genuinely interested in the story and the outcome of the film. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for the movie. That should do it with the review for Madman. They thought they were alone. Love the cover art on here. I actually have in my room. I have a little poster of this kind of cover art, like horizontally though. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to mention about this Blu-ray. Now, Vinegar Syndrome, I think I have 1 or 2 of their other releases, and I haven't had this problem. But I've heard that this was a problem with this Blu-ray. DVD looks fine. The Blu-ray has some stretching and some scan lines, and at some points it looks extremely blue, like very, very blue. There are some fuck-ups with the transfer on this. Looks great at certain parts. Looks unbelievable, and then at other parts, the errors in the transfer or the print that they use. I don't want to just blame the people who transferred it because who knows, something could have been damaged in the process. But there's some parts that are very overwhelmingly grainy. There's some parts with the scan lines, and some parts that are tinted kind of this bluish, this weird blue hue. And I know a lot of the scenes in this movie are meant to have that, like the moonlight, but there's some parts where you could totally tell that the exposure is off or something like that. So the transfer, not the best on this Vinegar Syndrome release, I'm not going to lie, but the DVD version actually looks great. I was actually watching this movie last night on YouTube because I was literally too lazy to put this DVD into my PS2. And the Blu-ray is kind of almost that bad, you almost kind of want to go with the DVD. But from what I know, this is really the only release of this movie. I think there was a special edition release, but it's not available anymore from a different company. That the Blu-ray was better, but this is the one that I got my hands on, and the DVD version looks great. And yeah, the YouTube version that I watched last night was ripped off of the DVD version from Vinegar Syndrome, and it honestly looks just as good as the Blu-ray, because there's none of those errors in there, the scan lines and stuff like that. None of that with the DVD. DVD transfer looks great. Blu-ray transfer needs some work on some parts, but there's some parts where it does look pretty clear. But I know that with Vinegar Syndrome's release of this, that's a common complaint. I even knew that before I bought it on Amazon. There were some people in the reviews that were talking about that, but it was the only copy I could get my hands on. And I definitely wanted it, especially for the cover art here and the back of the movie. The cover art very cool as well. Or, the back part, whatever. So yeah, 1981 Madman. So we've reviewed it now. This is one I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but I kind of just totally forgot until I watched it last night. I was like, I'll definitely review that on the next podcast, which is currently now. I wonder how long we've been going for. This is going to be a long one. I think we're going for 40-some minutes. Started to get real stoned too. Not gonna lie. It was weird. Right now, just as I went to check my phone, I kind of had like all nervousness I've had about talking just go away. Because it's like I know nobody's gonna take, the podcast I'm doing right now is not meant to be taken totally serious, especially this one. Because yeah, it's not only Big Smoke's podcast. Like I'm gonna be smoking some tree. I'm going to be reviewing beer, I'm going to be drinking beer, and tonight we're drinking Henny. So, we might get a little turned up, it might happen, but it's fine, because nobody should take anything I'm saying like with 100% seriousness, This isn't going down in the encyclopedia or anything, so we're just having fun, and hopefully, you guys have fun watching it. That's really all that I care about, is that somebody out there gets some entertainment from me being an idiot and what I'm doing here. So, yeah. So we got beer review, and then YouTube talk is next on my list. I'm going to go ahead and switch those because the beer is still getting cold and my blunt's not done yet. And I want to smoke a cigarette too before I review the beer anyway. So YouTube talk. What do we want to talk about for YouTube? I don't even know why I wrote that down. Just kidding. We do want to talk about the channel a little bit. I want to... Actually, we already really covered this, to be honest with you. In the beginning, I said, I'm going to do these podcasts whenever I feel like it, pretty much. But I definitely will have one out every week on Sunday. Definitely. For sure. This is going to be the third podcast, really. You're going to have like 3 hours and 20 minutes of video up for what I've done just in the last week, really, which is crazy actually that I've done that. I really hope somebody gets enjoyment out of them. That's really all I hope. The beer reviews, I know most people that watch beer reviews are older, not my age. I don't give a fuck if the people that are watching this are 70 years old or if they're 10 years old. As long as you get some entertainment out of it. 10 years old would be a little bit weird though, considering what I'm doing. Maybe wait till 15, 16. But as long as you get enjoyment out of it and get a kick out of it, I'm happy for that. And definitely let me know, if you guys enjoy me talking about beer and movies and stuff like that. I feel like I could talk about movies for longer than I could talk about beer, but maybe that'll change eventually. Who knows? It's probably better that I could talk about movies for longer, right? Rolling Rock is actually my favorite normal kind of regular like American beer. Besides like, no, it's probably my favorite. I mean, I live very close to where Yingling is produced too, so all the Yingling we get out here is pretty fresh. But that beer gets old after a while. It's something about the, yeah, it's like that amber kind of, oh, I don't know. Mess with my heartburn too, or acid reflux, whatever. So yeah, more YouTube talk. I did want to shout out, oh, here we go. Oh my god. I'm sorry about that, guys. That was a huge hit. That was bound to happen at some point. That was a huge one. Man. Okay, we're good. Whew. Like I said, I did put some oil in here. Damn, that one got me bad. That one got me bad. I'm tempted to put it out, but we're going to power through. There's one channel that I wanted to shout out that I've been finding myself watching, like, Jesus, I'm sorry, guys, all year, and even some last year, too. And I'll preface this by saying, I know some people don't like creepypastas and stuff. Some people feel like it's for, like, little kids. But to be honest, I get some enjoyment out of them, especially when I can watch somebody react to them. So this is going to lead perfectly into my other point too. So the channel that I watch all the time for creepypasta reactions is actually Gator Martin. It's this guy from, I think he's from South Carolina, but he reacts to all sorts of different stuff, movie trailers, all sorts of different videos on YouTube, popular videos on YouTube, music videos, all sorts of stuff. But lately he's been reacting to like a ton of creepypastas like within the last year. So I've been watching almost all of them. He's so funny. Like he's got like specific like rules and shit, and like he's got like the red flag that he waves around when something's going wrong. Because he seems like he does not want to get involved with anything scary. He's always talking about running, you know, having the right shoes on and shit. It's very funny and entertaining to me. And he's also like downing popcorn like the entire time, fucking putting seasoning and shit on it. It's really funny. I think he's definitely a character, and I think he said he even wants to pursue acting, which I think you totally could do. He totally could do some form of acting, probably comedy, because the dude is just naturally funny. He makes me laugh out loud every time I watch one of his videos, and that's rare for me. I could watch some really shit that people will be dying laughing, and I'm just sitting there like, it's kind of funny, you know. A lot of people show me like sketch comedy and shit like that, or not sketch comedy, stand-up comedy, and it's like I really just can't laugh at stuff unless it's like natural, like someone being like naturally funny. Like it's just hard for me to laugh at somebody like who's planning out like their jokes and stuff and like trying to be funny. It's even more funny when somebody's just saying shit and they're just funny, like just without even trying to be. In my opinion, it's like one of the only ways I could find people funny. So that's what I was just going to shout out his channel and also say, you know, I would love to do some creepypasta reactions too. I don't think they would be as good as his. They definitely wouldn't be. But yeah, his are fucking hilarious. He'll be pausing and just freaking out for like 2 minutes, and he gets back into the video, and then the next thing the person says, he'll just pause it again and just start freaking out like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? It's really, really funny. I suggest you guys check him out. He's a pretty big YouTuber, actually. I think he has like over 300,000 subscribers. So he's been around for quite a while, too. But I really do support him and love his videos, man. Very, very funny. And, you know, it's fun. It's cool, too, because when you react to the creepypastas, you get to listen to them. And I'll get to hear a lot of ones that I've never heard, because I guess people probably send them to him, or he goes out and looks around for them, or whatever. But I'll get to hear new ones that I've never heard, and at the same time get to watch somebody else react to them and be funny. It's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. And it makes some of the more serious creepypastas a little bit less kind of creepy and stuff like that. He does react to all of Mr. Nightmare's creepypastas, who's like my favorite person on YouTube that makes them. I think he's probably one of the biggest too. I saw his video was like trending for fucking like almost like 2 weeks straight. His new one, the Road Trip Horror Stories video, which I watched, but I didn't even watch Mr. Nightmare's video. I watched Gator Martin's reaction to it. It was just too funny. See, that lighter just fucking flew across that was weird. Just flipped like 8 times. But yeah, I get a real huge kick out of him, man. Very, very funny dude. Seems like a really nice guy in real life too. Real down to earth dude. Someone who seems the same on camera as they really are, off camera in real life. But yeah. So enough glorifying this guy. He's good, but he's not worth all my podcasts going talking about him. So yeah, more YouTube talk. Let's talk about all these super popular people on this website. I don't want to get too into. Actually, I probably shouldn't even said that. I don't want to get too into it, but it's so crazy how YouTube was in the beginning compared to what it is now. It really is. It's like celebrities and stuff on here now, whereas it used to be really somebody like me or somebody even who's way worse off than I am. Like there'd be people on there with no job, sitting around in their parents' basement or some shit like that, making videos talking about fucking like Pokemon and shit, like all sorts of weird shit used to be on here, and that used to be the popular shit. And now it's like small YouTubers and people like that, or even people who are normal people like me who have a regular job, regular crib, all that. It like their videos just don't get noticed at all, and it's like these big. I'm not even going to name anybody, but these huge YouTubers who, and I feel like it's a lot of shit with little kids, so you can't really get too mad. But it's like all these huge YouTubers and stuff that are out there, they're like celebrities. It's crazy. It really is. I mean, good for them. But at the same time, it's kind of like, holy shit, what does this shit become, It's crazy how big of a company that it is now. It's insane. When you look back at what it used to be, in, when did it come out? I think 2005, right? Maybe even earlier? Maybe 2006. I remember watching some shit on YouTube so long ago, like on the old MacBook or iMac computers with the little like circular mouse and everything in school, and then they ended up having to ban YouTube, like they would block it so you couldn't go on it. In elementary school, when I was in elementary and middle school, it was so funny because you could just go on there. The teachers didn't even know what it was back then, and now it's like everybody knows YouTube, Everybody would know the fucking logo. Even just the logo people know. It's crazy. They even make movies and stuff now. It's nuts. With the YouTube Red and the YouTube TV, I think they're always sending me all these ads and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's crazy what it's become. It really is. How long have we been going for? Holy shit. We still got to do our beer review. I don't want to make this insanely long, but I don't want it to be more than like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But I'm having a good time just talking and chilling. Give me 1 second here. Checking on my friend. Actually just had some surgery, but he's been out of the hospital for a couple days, but he said he was doing pretty rough, so I'm just seeing how he's doing. Saw him today, but said he's not able to like sit or lay down for very long, which really kind of sucks when you need to get some sleep and stuff like that. But I'm sure he'll make a full recovery. He was looking good today, but it's always good to check up on people like that. started cooling down too. It was real fucking hot out here before. It's honestly getting pretty nice now. It's probably like just about 80 degrees. But there's a nice little breeze coming in through this door that's open over here, going out through this door. Excuse me. So should we do more YouTube talk here? And we have to 11:15, so we've been going almost an hour. I think 55 minutes. Yeah, we are stowed right now. I was gonna roll another blunt, but I don't think so. Not after this one. That one got me pretty good. You see, I'm starting to shut up now. Finally, right? I apologize for the coughing again. I just can't help it sometimes. Also in this garage, very dusty in here. I know it's annoying. I'm very sorry about that. When I go in and get my my beer, I'm going to try and get all of them out. And so when I come back out here, I won't cough. I wasn't coughing too much in the beginning. So hopefully we'll be good after that. That's getting put out. That was major. That was major right there. Oh, one thing I did also want to mention that I don't have written down. I don't know how, it depends on how old people are, but I was a real big fan of Seinfeld. Not when it was on, but probably 8 years ago when my parents, showed it to me and introduced it to me. I always remember seeing them watch, but I didn't get it when I was a real little kid. I was kind of like, what the fuck is this? But they started showing it to me, and then me and my friend, right when we were done with high school, like the year after high school, we would just smoke every night, and we'd go watch it, and we watched the entire series. We literally smoke and go watch 3 or 4 episodes and get food every single night for a year straight, and we finished the whole series. Because I own the entire series, but it's crazy because see a big ass bug behind me. Fucking George Costanza, Jason Alexander, in real life, is actually going to be the next Colonel Sanders. I heard. I don't know how 100% true it is, but I think KFC confirmed it. I feel like how they do these things is they start it out as a joke, and then if people are really, really into it, they'll be like, okay, it's happening, and then they'll just write them a check for $8 million, Crazy shit. But I think that's so funny. Summer of George. Seinfeld is hilarious. I love the show. Loved it really, since I watched maybe 4 episodes. Once I was 4 episodes in, I started to get it, and all the characters are just so hilarious. I've actually been to the restaurant that they always go to, the diner that they go to, 3 times I think, probably when I was in the city. The first time I went there though, I wasn't really into Seinfeld. It was in high school, and me and my friend. Her dad used to work for Nickelodeon or something, so he would go in Nickelodeon, I think. He would go into their headquarters for work all the time, and if me and her had off of school, he would bring us in and show us around and shit like that, and fucking he would always just let us go off on our way. So my friend, she was into Seinfeld, so she brought me there. And I was like, I don't really watch Seinfeld. And she's like, what the fuck? I remember her getting pissed. And I was like, I'll definitely check it out. And then I didn't even check it out till years later. And then I ended up going back with my family, I think, or with friends again. Been there 2 or 3 times. It's not even really that good, to be honest. But I think I got a grilled cheese, because I think George or somebody in the show always orders grilled cheese or something there. But yeah, pretty cool. Seinfeld's fucking hilarious. But it is an either a love it or hate it thing. I'm not one of those people who if you don't like Seinfeld, I'm fuck you, don't even talk to me. I can understand how, people don't understand the humor. For me, it took me a little bit, but I got it, after a while. I understood it after a while. I can't believe we've been going for almost an hour already. There we go. 1 hour, I think, right there. But fucking, holy shit, that's crazy. If I'm reading this totally wrong, I'm gonna be pissed. I don't even know. We've been going for a long time. Fucking, but yeah. So, So Rolling Rock, Seinfeld is what we're talking about now. I'll give you a quick review of Rolling Rock. Extra pale. The shit tastes like fucking water. I barely taste it at all. I always make jokes about this shit. I hate drinking warm beer, but this is literally warm right now, and I can just chug it. I always make jokes and say, like, I could put a Rolling Rock in the fucking microwave and still drink it, put that shit on for 30 seconds, basically turn it into tea. The shit literally tastes like, it doesn't really taste like anything. It tastes like seltzer water with, like, a tiny bit of, like, I don't even know, like, grain or whatever, like rice or whatever they use to fucking make this beer. But there's this weird 33 number on it, which is kind of weird. They don't explain what it means. 4.4%. No enjoy by date, obviously. And it is a non-returnable bottle. You cannot get money for this from anywhere. Interesting. Not really. Fucking Rolling Rock's basic as shit. It's cheap. And it actually doesn't taste good, but it doesn't really taste like anything. It kind of tastes like water. When they're ice cold, you can just slug these. They're great for, like, when you're mowing the lawn, you just come in, grab one, smoke a cig, and just down this thing. They're one of my favorite beers, really. I honestly, like, always have them. Cases of them are like $20 for bottles, like $20 to $22, and 30 packs are like $23, and then 6 packs are like $6.50 or whatever. Pretty good. They used to make Rolling Rock Light, I think, and then they just stopped because it was like they're pretty much making a light beer already with the regular one. Shit is fucking just, it's so light. Excuse me. But what we're about to be drinking is like the polar opposite of fucking Rolling Rock. It's going to be interesting how this is going to go because I'm fucking stoned, and by the time I finish with this other one, it's going to be a long night. But like I said, don't have to wake up tomorrow, so not a long night. I'm going to be puking or something. But once I start to get this faded this early, I usually will continue going, especially if I know I don't have to wake up very early. First car that's passed in a while. But yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about it today too. I think I talked about it in one of my other videos, Wegmans. Or I think I talked about it and then I just totally just didn't finish talking about it. It just made no sense. The store that I go to, it's on the East Coast. I don't know if it's on the West Coast. It's called Wegmans. It's basically like a superstore combined with like a Whole Foods. Combined with a liquor store. Like, it's a full supermarket. They have everything that you'd have in ShopRite, or if you're down south, Food Lion, or Smith's or whatever, fucking King's, all these different grocers that they have around. It's the same exact thing. Grocery store, they got all that. And then they also have, like, Whole Foods has, like, a whole section of hot food that's, like, they prepare fresh, every day. They even have, like, a buffet that you could either eat there or take home, like food. And they have everything. They have, like, Asian food. They have sushi, salads, home-style buffet. They got wings. They got a whole different wing bar. That's my favorite thing. I always get their wings. Tons of different kinds of wings, fried food, like salads. Then they got, like, over there, they got the whole deli and everything. My mouth's, like, watering right now just talking about it. The deli, they got the butcher, they got the fresh bread, everything. And then they also have a fucking huge liquor store that's literally just inside the store. Like, you're just walking through the supermarket, and then all of a sudden you're in one of the aisles, and there's just handles of fucking rum and all sorts of shit. Everything. They have everything. And they even have a make-your-own 6-pack. It's $10.99, and they have a limit that you can't get more than 3 of each kind or something like that because they'll lose money. And I was talking to the guy there one time. I was like, "Why do you guys have that?" He's like, "Because it's illegal to sell alcohol lower than the cost for purchasing it." And some of the beers that they have in there, in the make your own 6-pack things, are literally, or the section, whatever, are literally like beers that are like $12.99 for a 6-pack of them. So if you just go and get a 6-pack of those, you're good. Yeah, you'll save some money. So they can't do that. But the thing is in there, they don't skimp out. They don't. It's not like fucking like Corona that they put in there, or like basic ass IPAs like Sam Adams, and like they don't have a cheap selection. It's like there's hundreds of different kinds of beers that you can get, cans, bottles, both different kinds. They got some regular beer in there that they'll throw in there. No like light beer though at all. There might be some Corona in there, or like some Yingling you might see, or even maybe like a Heineken or something like that once in a while, but most of it is craft beer. Some of it's even local brewery shit, and some of them are even like pints, which is so crazy to me too. To think about that, like fucking. And then a couple of times I tried to pull a fast one and get the cheaper one. One time they called me out, and then the 2 other times they were like, just let me go. The lady didn't realize it. It's because you could literally get your beer cheaper if you want to for some of the ones that they have in there. So me, I'll try and go for that once in a while. Try and play the system, right? But fucking I'm talking about this. I just love the store, and I almost kind of want to go there and show you guys like what they have there, because it's just crazy. Like you just start walking. You could walk in from one side of the store and walk all the way. If you're starting at the wall, right, on this side of the store, you go all the way over to the other side of the store. It's probably like a quarter mile. It's fucking huge, just huge. But I would like to do a video there to show you guys, like, because I know not many places around here at least have that, the make your own 6-pack thing. Actually, the local liquor store will take shit that's probably old or like broken, and they'll throw it in a fucking couple shopping carts and do a 6-pack for $3, but it's all shitty beer, and the cans are all like crushed up. It's such a rip-off, really, because they're probably still almost making money off it at that point. But actually, the liquor store in my area too is pretty nice. Like it's actually a discount store, the one that I go to a pretty lot. I went there today. Their IPA selection is huge. They have like 4 aisles, or like 2 or 3 aisles probably of IPAs, like huge fucking aisles. Shelves high, like 5 or 6 shelves high. Then they got shit on the floor that they can't even fit on there. They redid the whole store, so when you go in at night, the lights will be out and they'll be playing music, and you can just see like the fucking. They have lights like on the shelves, so you can just see the bottles. It's really cool. They play all sorts of awesome music. They're playing Bob Marley in there today when I fucking went in. Could You Be Loved, which is like a classic song, but then they decorate for all the different seasons and have all sorts of shit. It's really cool. Great staff and stuff like that. I'm not going to name the store because I don't want anybody possibly showing up there later and fucking trying to find me there, because I am there a decent amount. But Wegmans actually tops them, is where I was getting at with that. They really do. Their selection's insane. The amount of beers that they have that are cold too, like IPAs that they have that are cold. Because in the store by me, most of the IPAs are just left out. They're not cold at all. They're just warm. They come from the factory, and they have them in the cases in the back, and then they'll just go refill them, as people need, as they need them. I've had a couple friends that have worked at the store actually, so they've told me how much free beer they've got from there / stolen. But and they also have fucking a really cool like selection of like shooters and stuff at the beginning of the store, which I don't really get shooters very much, but they have so many, like hundreds of different ones that you could pick, like mix and match, all sorts of shit. But yeah, really awesome. Awesome store. Love when the liquor stores will decorate for Halloween and make it fun, and not just make it look like there's a bunch of old people going in there who are like dying from liver disease or something like that. It's kind of depressing when you go to stores like that. You see a lot of them in PA and stuff. It's not a joking matter at all. But it's very sad to see stores like that are just, you can just tell it's just depressing in there. But the store that is in my town is nothing like that. It's an awesome store. A lot of young people working, a lot of hot girls working. To be honest with you, friendly staff, and not a lot of like really weird people that show up. So. And with that being said, we're done with our cigarette here. So these are American spirits, by the way. That's why I'm smoking for so long. If anyone smokes cigarettes and knows, these things burn forever. So we're done with our cup. We're gonna chug this on the way in. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab our beer to review. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. I was struggling to find a bottle opener there. Didn't know where it was. So we're going to be reviewing this beer tonight. Full Pint Brewing Company, Living Color, Double IPA. Last beer we reviewed was also a double IPA. The founders for the official beer review, but we also reviewed that citrus one. Nothing on the back. But we also reviewed that citrus one. That was like, I was kind of like 50-50 on that one. But I got a couple more of them over there, actually. Maybe I'll have them later. But once I tried it and reviewed it on the podcast, I actually didn't mind it as much. This thing is cold as hell. Like I said, I actually reviewed this beer officially, but the audio got messed up when I tried to put it in to edit on my computer. Long story short, I know I already talked about this. So let's get to pouring this up, the Living Color. Let's actually look at the whatever information is on here first. Imperial India Pale Ale. Oh no, this is just Imperial IPA. This isn't the double IPA. This is an Imperial IPA. I'm sorry about that, guys. Let's check it out here. Beer Nerd Stats says OG 17.8. No idea what that means unless there's OG Kush in here. 8.0% alcohol by volume. 100 plus IBU. This is very bitter beer. I've had this a few times. Malts, Pils, Carapils, Amber. I love the Pilsner malts. Hops, Simcoe, Warrior, Columbus, Cascade. Cascade I'm very into. And one of the most important things on here that I almost forgot to mention. Best Buy 9118. I don't know what that means. I remember when I was reviewing this before, I had no clue what that meant. Now, I don't know if that means 91st day of 2018, because it says 91 period 18, or 9/1/18, like September 1st. I don't know what that means. If it's 91.18, then that means this beer is old. But I really doubt it. And I'm like having deja vu to my other review that I did. Because I did not see these in my store until maybe about a month and a half ago when I picked this up. And then I ended up reviewing it. Didn't see them. So I'm pretty sure that this means September 1st, 18. And they put the period in the wrong spot, or it's mislabeled. I don't think it means 91st day of 18 because these taste very fresh. And they smell really fresh too. I mean, I really doubt it. I think it's September 1st, 18. So it's still fresh for a while. These come in 4-packs. well, not a while, probably about another 20-something days. I don't go after the enjoy by date ever. Just try and find it somewhere else, or wait till they get some new ones. Fuck it. I don't want to drink anything that's bad. There's like ice cubes on this. This is so cold. I love drinking these kind of beers. Very, very cold. The label on this, the artwork is very awesome. Let's get to finally pouring it up here and quit talking. Thought it was gonna freeze. I would have freaked out because it sucked. Got it in a fancy glass here. Not a lot of head. You're not gonna get much head with these kind of beers anyway. These are real heavy IPAs like this. Let's give it a smell. Oh shit! Almost spilled it. Oh, very hoppy. Also a little bit malty. Could definitely smell some malt in there. Extremely hoppy though. Getting more earthy hops. Not much fruity hops at all. Grassy. It's a little bit fruity, but not very much at all. More grassy, earthy. And the malts I'm getting in there are on the sweeter side. Definitely smelling some sweetness with the malt. Not to the point of it's like kind of got that honey kind of smell, but more almost like a very light. Smell one more time. Almost like a very light, like caramel or something like that, mixed with that strong hop kind of smell. So I think we've covered all the information, and I'm dying to drink this because I really like these, and I know the lacing on this glass is going to be ridiculous. So let's go for it. Oh man, that thing is freezing. So cold. Man, bitter as hell. I'll tell you that. Very bitter, especially on the aftertaste. Extremely bitter. Very dry, very bitter. Got kind of like a bite to it. You can definitely taste that it's 8%. I could feel it going and hitting my stomach, warming up my stomach. Definitely can taste that it's 8%, guys. Look at the lacing it's leaving on this thing already. That's crazy. To be honest, just after a couple of sips, I could already feel this one. This one's pretty heavy. Reminds me of Flying Dog, The Truth. Not as heavy as the Double Trouble, but slightly less drinkable, I think. Especially now that I'm doing it right, really drinking it right now. Ice cold. A little bit less drinkable than the Double Trouble. Wow, look at this guy. Boom! God! Almost spilled my beer again, but got the bug. So we're good. But, oh man. Very bitter. It's good, don't get me wrong. Just oh man, it's bitter as hell. It's not that smooth. No, it's very good. It's not too complex. The malts help to balance out the bitterness a little bit. When the beer is actually in your mouth and you're tasting it, it doesn't taste super bitter. The aftertaste though is another story. Extremely bitter. It's hitting the back end of my mouth like hardcore. I could definitely taste the bitterness in this. It's definitely an 8% beer. Pour the rest of that up. It's kind of got like that caramel kind of color to it too. Dark. It's not unfiltered, but there's no yeast or anything floating around. But it's a tiny bit hazy and a real dark, kind of thick-looking color for the beer. Love these glasses, actually. I got these from my grandma. Actually, she passed away earlier last year. Um, Totally natural causes. She was 94 years old. So, yeah, very old. But I got some of these crystal glasses from her house. It always makes me think of her when when I'm drinking from these, because she always used to use these for her wine glasses. Very nice decorative glasses. But got a nicer head actually on that right there. But yeah, extremely bitter, especially on the back end, extremely bitter. But I like the taste though. I like these type of beers. I like that real earthy, just packs a nice punch. Um, and definitely you can feel it hitting your stomach. I can feel it hitting my head too. I can feel it getting drunker by the sip. To be honest with you, Double Trouble was, I believe, 9.4%. I like these percentage-wise better because they're 8%, but also the heaviness of this is actually, it's more than Double Trouble, even at the 9.4. Founders makes a damn smooth beer. That's all I gotta say. But these are still very good, though. All right. For my rating, now when I did this beer, when I reviewed it, and like I said, like 4 fucking times, I couldn't upload it or whatever. I gave this beer the same score that I gave the Founders, which I believe was a 93. I think. I could be fucking that up, but I gave it the same score that I gave Founders when I originally reviewed it. I'm going to downgrade it right now, only because of the fact that when I reviewed it, and the few other times that I've had these, I wasn't too faded, when I had them, and I really enjoyed them like fresh and just kind of chugged it, but and got my buzz on just from one of them. But now that I'm a little bit faded and a little bit fucked up, and I had one. It's the first time I've had one when I've actually been 5-6 drinks in. These things could be dangerous. I could already feel myself starting to stutter, slur, whatever. Drinkability is just as important as alcohol percentage, because if you get some beer that's 5%, it's just garbage. Like some German beers or some of those like Heffenweisens and stuff like that, if they get skunked and you're just drinking them warm, they will make you puke. I don't feel like I'm going to throw up right now at all, but if I had another 2 or 3 of these, or I had 3 in total, after I'd already been drinking, trying to wind down the night with some heavy IPAs, sip them slow. I think even sipping them slow could be a little bit dangerous. Once you're in on 2 of them, I think this is the first one that I've had of these. Yeah, this is the first one I had of these today. I was drinking Rolling Rock before. Oh no, actually, no, I did have one of them before, but I didn't finish the whole entire thing because it got warm, because I was doing some work outside and I was drinking one of these. So yeah, had barely like half of one of them today, but after drinking Rolling Rock too, you could definitely taste the difference on this guy. That's for sure. So for a rating, I'm going to have to downgrade it. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit all over the place now. It's starting to get late. That blunt really got me. And now we're drinking 8% beer. So this is the podcast, just the honest truth of what's going on. This is such a long one. I'm going to watch this over. I'm going to re-watch this or watch it over. And it's probably it's going to take a lot of time. I'll tell you that. I'll definitely watch it again. But for the rating, enough bullshit. Let's get to the rating here. We are going to go with a 90, just a flat out 90. It's an A category beer. I really enjoy this style of beer with the strong hop flavor. The malts are there, but they're the malts that I kind of like. It's not like anything too extreme, because you guys know I don't really like the malts. If you've watched some of my videos, I'm always talking about too much malt and the beer takes away from it. I don't want it to feel like hot chocolate when I'm drinking it. It's so smooth with the malt, I want to taste those hops. I'm drinking beer here. I'm not drinking a latte, At 100 plus IBUs, it's expected this beer is going to be bitter as fuck. It's extremely bitter. Now that it's starting to even warm up just a little bit, it's starting to get way more bitter. Just while it's initially in your mouth when you first start to drink it. After you end up swallowing the beer, the bitterness is overwhelming in the back end of your throat, but I do enjoy that. It's a sensation that I definitely like, but some people may not like it. If you're not into bitter beers, I would steer away from this one. This thing is bitter as hell, but it's really good. The earthy tones, the grassy kind of hops they use in this. I forget one of the hops they use in this I really do enjoy. Cascade. I believe they use that in the Centennial IPA. I'm not exactly sure, or maybe it's the Harvest Ale. It's one of the Founders beers that I really like. But yeah, with that being said, 90 out of 100. That's my final rating. It's enough talking on this beer. Probably been talking about it for like 20 minutes. One thing I'd like to say before we head out of here, because this video is getting so long, and I do want to end it because I don't want to make anything super long towards the beginning of these podcasts. Want to stick to under 2 hours. Some people make podcasts that are like 4 hours long. Fucking insane. I think now that I'm sitting down here, I think I could do it, but the quality of the content towards the end of the video may be questionable, with depending on how many beers I'm going to review. I was actually fiddling around with the idea of maybe reviewing like multiple beers and getting one of those things from Wegmans and just reviewing like 6 different beers. But I'm starting to figure out that would be a little bit difficult with me rolling these blunts and shit. But I think we could do something like that in the future. Maybe for the next one that I upload this Sunday, we'll do something like that where we'll review like 3 different beers. Actually, I'm having a thought right now. There's something that I think I could do. I'm gonna keep that private. But yeah, so let's recap on everything. I just got a good idea though. I will tell you that. So let's recap everything. Miscellaneous content / recap, and then end. And then it says upload bitch. So I will upload it later. I will obey my rules there. So to recap, talked about our day. We did a little bit of an update or overview on the podcast. We talked about Halloween for a little bit, how excited I am for it, even though it's only August fucking 7th. We did a Madman movie review, pretty extensive review on it. I think people know what they need to know if they're going to watch this this podcast. Jesus Christ, swooping in. If they're going to watch this podcast for the review, because I will put it in the title of the video, I think they can get the gist of it and also hear a little bit about the release that I have, which is the one that's still available, I believe, that most people would be getting if they're going to actually buy this movie. Hear a little bit about the release. We also talked about some YouTube stuff that I'd like to watch, future plans with YouTube, and we did our beer review. So with that being said, I think we're pretty much covered everything. We definitely did. Fucking hour and a half we've probably been talking. One thing I'd like to say though is, if anybody is a fan of this channel and wants me to see me upload more, it definitely will be happening within the next few weeks. I'm going to try and put out a lot of videos. These podcasts are easy to do. Take a long time to upload, but they're easy for me to just kind of sit here and do what I would normally do by myself while I'm listening to music, but allow me to just knock this stuff out and have fun while I'm doing it. Man, we got to end here soon because I'm starting to really feel this one. Not too bad, but I could definitely go for a fucking another cigarette and go for rewatching this with a cup of that Henny. So with that being said, I will see you guys at the latest Sunday for another one of these podcasts. This is like an extra one, really. I said on the last one I'm going to try and do them every Sunday, but this is going to go up on Wednesday. So, early in the morning, Wednesday. So, getting an extra one. Probably try to do another beer review this week, and I want to do a hiking video, definitely, either tomorrow or Thursday. Probably like a sunset hike I want to go on. I might be going on with my friends, so we'll see if he can get in the video. either tomorrow or Thursday when we go out to this new trail. And then I got some exciting things in store for next week, and possibly around September, October, I may be taking a trip out to go hiking, like for like a weekend, and I'm definitely going to film some videos there if that ends up happening. So thanks for checking this out, and I'm excited I could wrap this up because I've been talking for like so long. I want to just get a break here from talking, but I'm going to wrap this up now. So thank you guys for checking it out. Cheers. One last sip for the night. Not for the night, for the podcast. Definitely not for the night. But thank you guys for checking it out. I really appreciate it. Everybody have